Hello, and welcome again to another episode of Bad Takeout. I'm Jeremy Tomberg. Kevin Crowley's here.
Hello.
How you doing, Kevin?
Good, man.
Doing all right. Just wanted to start off today.
Ask.
Oh, well, ask me.
How you doing?
Whatever. I'm not doing all right. It's fine.
Yeah, it's kind of over.
Whatever. Stupid ask people how you're doing.
Yeah.
Anyways, I wanted to start off, Kevin, by apologizing. We recorded a podcast a few days ago, and as we finished and wrapped our genius 45 minutes of pure funniness,
It was a good one.
I hit the wrong thing and I lost our podcast.
Yeah. In the program, they say that that's shitting the bed.
Oh no,
You kind of shit the bed. It's a terrible, analogy.
You've said it before too, like shit the bed.
I love shit
like,
the bed.
Shit the bed.
Yeah. Anyway.
Your drink's making a noise.
It is.
What are you having tonight? What's your drink of choice tonight?
A little scotch on the rocks.
It's a gentleman's drink.
It is,
You really think
try.
in some way that you're like a Kennedy?
No. I just, I understand what alcohol is and, how it improves podcasts, so I'm all about it. No, I was just like, water sucks.
It's funny because if I were to drink what you're drinking right now, little clink, if I were to drink that, the amount, the show would end with me sleeping and you talking.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what would happen.
Just Mad Mad Men, they're always like drinking at like 11 o'clock in the morning.
And I don't get it.
And the next scene isn't them like asleep on the floor.
It's always funny.
It's
like
a Louis C.K. bit, but it's so true.
It's always funny on Mad Men when like you walk in and like they'll be sitting there on the couch in the morning and all of a sudden John Slater will walk in and pour his drink. He's like, "What? It's 11 o'clock, right?" It's
Vodka on the rocks. Holy shit!
At 11 o'clock, they were like drunk all the time, pretty much, right? Do you think there was a lot of people in the 60s? Like all businessmen were like wasted all day? Was that like a thing going around?
They just had a little more of a tolerance, I think, or it was just maybe life was that much slower back then. They didn't have all the interruptions they have now.
Right,
you could be drunk in the afternoon and be like, oh.
Well, yeah, you take a couple hour nap because
there's like 6 channels on the TV,
And you know what I mean? Now they have computers at work, so you're always got something. Someone can always get a hold of you. Back then it was a little different.
Yeah.
People had things to actually do.
Sure. They had there's 4 flights a day in the world. Just an easier time. But yeah, I'm having a scotch on the rocks because.
And I apologize for ruining the podcast.
Oh, it's okay. It happens.
But anyways,
technical difficulties. So this is episode 3B.
This would be it would be episode. Technically, this would be episode 3B.
It's all the gold that we got.
And the sad thing is, no one even get to hear A. Like A is gone forever. Yeah. But you can't do anything about it.
It's okay.
It's a lost gem.
Yeah. And we're a couple days later here because I went out of town.
It's San Francisco, right?
Tuesday night.
Did you just get back?
I got back last night.
Okay.
And slept for
How come you didn't come say hello?
14 hours. Because I had to get the stink off from me. Really.
The San Francisco stink or just like the badness of what you guys did when you were there?
Oh, just, it was kind of, it was just kind of partying. I don't really do that as much anymore. Like bar crawls, but let me say, San Francisco is like the greatest city that I've been to in the last 5 years.
It's a wonderful city.
I'm a big fan. It's a lot like New York, a lot like the East Coast. Bars on like every corner, which probably isn't a good thing, but
people have a lot of fun.
Yeah,
people are in a good mood.
And, it's like kind of like cramped together.
I went for New Year's and I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah, it's a fun time, but not as many good-looking people in San Francisco as there are in LA. So I think we kind of take that for granted. Like there weren't dimes all over the place. Like I went to the gym today and there was like dimes.
Oh, I was at the gym
left and center.
Same gym this morning.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable the amount of delicious women that were at the gym.
You take it for granted, and
I don't. I love them all.
But or at least you appreciate it when you see it. Like that's one of the good things about.
I love them all. Bob Marley I saw a documentary once where Bob Marley said, "I wish all the women of the world could be mine," and I thought that is a wonderful, wonderful theory. I wish all the women of the world could be mine. I go to the gym. I have lost 100 pounds thanks to staring at hot ass.
And me.
I try not to work out when you work out because you kind of sweat a lot.
It's true, I do.
And it really, there was a guy at the gym, a black man at the gym. Had nothing to do with black, but he was black.
Okay.
And he was wearing one of those like suits, that like
like the rain jacket, the sweat catchers.
The sweat catchers, okay, nasty, right? And I don't.
It smells like.
Oh yeah, but here's the thing. I was wondering. I'm working out on the gym doing the treadmill, and I wonder why does he have a towel beneath him on the elliptical?
He's gonna catch some sweat,
and he's catching sweat, so he gets off this thing. And he literally had to go get the spray bottle, come over and spray the entire machine.
Is that worth it? I mean, like,
and he had another separate towel just to clean up the sweat buckets that were falling from him. And he wasn't really in shape, so I didn't understand Like
so it was like diabetes sweat.
It was just too much. It was.
It wasn't like Olympic athlete sweat. It was like I'm working off some Ben & Jerry's last night.
And he was a chunker.
Okay.
And he was
good for him then.
He's trying.
Then he doesn't give a fuck.
But he sweat like it was like. Yeah. Profusely sweating all over, and it looked like he dumped. I actually thought he dumped a bottle of water on his head,
like Flashdance,
and
just dumping a bucket of water on him, during his big number.
I don't think you should know about Flashdance.
I don't think I've actually ever seen it. I just know
that's one John Travolta, right?
I don't think so. That's Grease.
No. What was the movie he made? Travolta made later in the 80s.
All I know is the girl from I think Dirty Dancing was in Flashdance, and she's wearing like the
Baby.
Yes, the baby.
Nobody puts Baby in a corner.
Right. I think she was in Flashdance, and she's got that big number, and she's dancing, and then she hits the bucket, and the bucket splashes on her. It's like iconic.
There was a Simpsons episode where Lisa's does the ballet, and she ballets with the shoes.
She's a maniac on the dance floor.
She's a maniac.
That's why you know that song is because of that shitty movie that I've never seen, but I tend to reference.
Do you know what I noticed today? Did you know there was a sequel to Chinatown?
Yeah, it was called The Two Jakes.
The Two Jakes, and and Nicholas directed it.
Nicholson.
I'm sorry.
It's not Jack Nicklaus, the golfer.
Yeah.
Who I always used to get confused.
That's why I just said that because it's all Jack Nicholson. He directed it.
Yeah.
It was on today. It was really bad.
It was pretty bad.
I tried to watch about 20 minutes of it.
Chinatown is great. I mean,
Chinatown's wonderful.
It's like one of the greatest scripts ever written. And I think so The Two Jakes is about the electric companies in California.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know if it's around the same time or years later.
Jake Gittes
it's him.
Chinatown.
Yeah, it's him.
Is now like in LA in the 40s,
or
50s, or whatever.
It's not good. I tried to find it wasn't interesting.
Hopefully Jack Nicholson's not listening. Then we'd be offending him,
and he'd kill us.
Yeah, why would he be listening to this? Like, what would he what kind of stupid would he have to be to generate the internet and to find bad taste?
I don't even know if he even knows what the internet is.
He has people that do that for him. He has sunglasses that do that for him.
Yeah.
He's the man, though. He's enjoyed a couple Scotch on the rocks in his days.
Oh, yeah, and some blow. Coke he loves blow.
Speaking of, I was offered cocaine in San Francisco this weekend at 1:45 in the morning, and I had to turn it down. I mean, I would turn it down, most of the time because, I'm a clean living, person.
Scotch drinking gentleman.
Yeah. But we went out and we stayed in a hostel, actually. Which I'd never done before.
I don't know if I would.
It wasn't my call, but I kind of
like what you give them a shoe, they give you a room.
Yeah, it's $30 a night, and it's cool. I guess if you're into that thing, which I'm really not.
Were there a lot of young?
Yeah, they were all
younger than you. Are you the oldie? Were you the
No,
older?
there was a guy who was crossing this off his bucket list, right at the end. There was a 75-year-old guy. I'm like, wow, he's looking to kill someone in their sleep, or he's just trying to finally do this, But it was interesting.
So how does it work? You give them money? In my mind, you give them a shoe and they let you stay there for the night.
So I went with my buddy Jim and his cousin Maddie, both solid guys. I've known Jim, since childhood. We went to adventure camp together, and maybe we'll have him on as a guest one day.
Okay,
he's a funny dude.
All right. We'll have guests once we get the hang of it. We'll get a couple guests.
So the three of us were there, and we had a triple room, which is one bigger bed, then a bunk bed on top of it.
And all three of you in one room.
There's a communal bathroom. Ugh. It was pretty foul.
But is there a communal room, or do you have your own private room where you close the door and lock it?
We had our own private room. We paid for that. It's either that or you're sleeping with
bunk beds everywhere
and two Swedish dudes, an Israeli, and someone from Ghana. So if you're not really into diversity, I would stay away. I don't recommend hostels.
Now, why a hostel? Why not just all chip in and get one room and all crash in a hotel room somewhere? Is it because it's so expensive?
I wouldn't have been against it, but it was all kind of part of this thing. My buddy Jim is, he's like a party animal. He enjoys
that kind of living.
I don't know. I don't know if...
Well, he picked a hostel, so clearly it's something he knows.
Right. If it was me, but
Where was the hostel? Was it a nice part of town?
It was in North Park, I think, which is right below Chinatown, Market Street.
Yeah, okay, I know.
It's the northwest corner of San Francisco.
Was it a nice area that the hostel was in?
No.
Okay. It's nice.
But, there's strip clubs, and, I got offered Coke, And
did you go get your rub and tug while you were there?
There are a lot of rub and tugs.
I know. That's why I ask.
I didn't. But yeah, I went on a little solo adventure because you can only spend so much time.
Oh yeah, in a hostel.
In a hostel, Jesus Christ, yeah.
So I understand.
I took a little
you can walk around that city.
Tour.
You can walk around that city.
It's amazing. That's what I loved about it.
Days by yourself.
There's some crazy homeless fucks though. Like
oh yeah,
you'll see it. But see, LA is so spread out. Is that there's crazy people in Van Nuys. There's real crazy people in Venice. I was in Venice last weekend, and I think this guy was on a 3-day ether binge. He said ether. Like
dude,
there was
people don't do binge. The stuff you breathe, like
Mr. Burns.
You breathe that in.
I think like
I had kids in college, dude. We had kids in college when they all of a sudden like, Jeremy, Tommy, come here, Tommy, come here, and they close the door and they're like, here, do you want to do this? And I'm like, do what? You know, I figured we're gonna whip out a joint or something. And they pull out like we got this from the medical lab today, and they pull out like a bottle and they had a rag. And they poured the bottle on the rag and they start breathing it in.
Wow.
And they're like, they breathe it in for like heavy, 30 seconds. Like, you should try it. And I was like, no, I'll go back to my room and smoke my pot.
Yeah, that's kind of like purposefully, like, they're going straight to your brain cells and they're just shitting
Is
their
doing
pants
ether like doing nitrous? Or no? Am I
Never done nitrous, so I wouldn't know. I mean, but I've been to hippie concerts and hippies love whippets.
Oh my god! I won't lie. I literally
who doesn't know what a whippet is. A whippet. I think what is it? It's
when you take the
nitrogen, right?
Nitrous oxide, and you like whip it. It was like if you would like take the whipped cream and you turn the handle, but you don't get any whipped cream. You just do it so the gas comes out,
aerosol,
and you do that. It's like nitrous. You get the wah-wahs. Like you're hitting wah, and that's really messed up. I went to a fish show once. I went to many fish shows, but I was at a fish show once where there was like this maybe 250, 300-pound man in a van with one of those oversized like balloons, and all he was doing. We were all in the parking lot eating grilled cheese, smoking bowls, drinking beers, hitting on girls, hoping to God some girl would talk to us, like anything. This guy sat there for a good 3 hours, did not leave the van, just kept doing gigantic balloons of nitrous.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Is that fun though?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess for Jabba the Hutt it is, but you know,
we had some buddies there that did it, and I took one little off of like a thing, and you went wah, and I never understood. I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever, so I will never try this again. It was dumb.
Your Jewish relatives are rolling in their kibbutzes.
I think it's a kibbutz.
Thank you.
It's a kibbutz,
but that's good. Yeah, I've never really done like anything too crazy. You know, I'm no saint by any means.
You done blow?
Maybe once or twice. Look, I mean, I'm open-minded.
I've actually never tried I've never tried. I don't know. I've never really tried anything hardcore. I've smoked pot.
Yeah. But
that's about the level I've gotten to.
Yeah. So I guess I'm not gonna get that congressional bid because I just admitted. But it's okay. I'm pretty.
You didn't admit to anything.
I'm like too honest. You know, I think sometimes I'm like too honest, but I think that's a good quality to have, unless you're just a complete degenerate bag of shit, which I don't think I am.
I would say you're not a complete degenerate bag of shit.
Right, because I'm not on a 3-day ether binge in Venice Beach.
Yeah, no.
So that makes, but
I've never even I would say, Kevin, you are not a degenerate scumbag. God. You're an upstanding gentleman. You go to work when you.
This has been another episode of Bad Take. We appreciate. No, okay,
but you're a gentleman. No, you're a gentleman.
I'm not going for that.
But talking about honesty, I kind of was thinking about like a topic or something like a bit we could do on the show.
Okay,
it might not be the best segue, but I was thinking about you because you really, you're the star. You know what I mean? You're a star, Kevin.
I am. Big, bright, shining star.
And big, bright, shining star. So I thought we'd have a great bit called "What Is Kevin Watching?"
Okay.
And I would love...
At the moment?
Well, I thought, you always talk about, like, the last couple episodes, you watch Hoarders and Intervention and 300-pound, New Guinea people.
No,
and like
800 pounds.
800 pounds, excuse me.
I don't fuck
400 pounds. Like,
3 bills? Come on, it's amateur
nothing.
hour.
It's amateur hour, yeah.
I need to see... Okay, anyway, continue.
Yeah, and I just thought we would, like, talk about, like, what's on your DVR? Like, what are you watching right now?
Let's see. Today, because I was kind of recuperating from the last couple of days in San Francisco, so I actually kind of spent some time watching some TV today, which it was nice out. The sun was out, so I had to close my blinds, so I didn't feel as guilty. But I finished Joe Schmo Show, which is a very enjoyable, fun reality show, and King of the Nerds, which is just kind of shitty. I hate to say, but I do watch it.
Okay.
But big time... I got about 3 episodes of Planet Earth in. And that was exciting. Planet Earth.
You're kind of ruining my bit here.
Why?
Because I was expecting to hear like the degenerate stuff you're watching.
It was a light week, you know. It was.
I came across
Easter's
a program on Discovery Channel called Cook County.
Okay.
Which is all about Cook County Prison in Illinois.
Ooh.
And this is like the cream of the crop.
Okay.
These are like guys who set their own jail cells on fire while they're in it.
Wow.
Guys who like literally
the loony bin, like the
no, these are just like upstanding gentlemen in the prison, and this is how they act. These are horrible people. Like it was just really funny watching it. Like,
well, I'm a big fan of Lockup.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is like Lockup. It was just Cook County.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it was just like Lockup, but not on MSNBC. It was on Discovery, and it was called Cook County. And guys like throwing shit at the guards, like guys like eating their own shit to get into the hospital. Like it was
sounds like the hostel I stayed in. That's. I don't think I do very well in a place like that. They're,
You'd be prime meat in a prison.
I'd be like Charlize Theron. Fucking Cook County.
You would be wearing makeup and calling someone Big Daddy within a few hours.
Either that, or just be completely white supremacist. You know, because you have to pick a side. You know?
Oh, you'd have to go with the Aryans.
Because if you run solo in prison, it doesn't matter how funny you are.
Oh no,
how good at doing the books you are. Once in a while, like, you know, that's
not how good blowjobs you do. It doesn't matter.
No. See, I'm talking before any inmate cock hits your mouth, before any of that shit happens. Because I don't think that's inevitable. I don't know. Do you think everybody goes to jail is raped?
Everybody?
No, I would have to say
I would have to say no.
Then,
but I would say you have about 85% chance of being raped, and I mean soon.
That's a compliment, actually.
No. I mean, they don't see pieces of ass like you every day in a prison.
True. I've been working out. I do some planks from time to time.
You know what I mean? You're prime real estate in there.
Well, I got that going for me then.
I watched Oz. I'd be
the guy with the lipstick.
Oh yeah.
Who ends up, I don't know, crushing glass and Nino Cerbetta's oatmeal. Yeah, I don't know. A prison, you have to kind of fuck up pretty well, or you can be just having an honest mistake and have a bad day.
Like Beecher, remember Beecher was just had a couple of drinks, went out and killed a kid on accident when he was driving.
Bike
ended up being Schillinger's bitch for 8 years.
It's true.
But then he went crazy. He went gay, and then he started. I mean, Oz was
that was quick. He went gay like season 2.
No, it was later on. Like he had been like raped repeatedly and like all kinds of stuff had gone. He went the worst. Do you guys even remember Oz? Oz was such a good show.
That was the first
I was way
HBO
too. Oh yeah, and I was
show.
way too young to be watching Oz. I think Oz was on like in the early '90s, wasn't it? Sopranos started in '99, so it had to have been before
probably
that.
mid.
Yeah, I was a good 14, 15 years old. Probably should not have been watching Oz, but I loved it.
Yeah, we didn't have HBO in my house.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we only thing we got was like the scattered porn channels where like
I loved scattered porn.
Every like 4 or 5 seconds you see the tit and be like, oh my god.
Yeah, you have a couple seconds to squirt one out.
Yeah, exactly. No, I gotta go to confession tomorrow. You know that?
Yeah, what?
I gotta go to confession tomorrow.
You're going to confession tomorrow?
It is Sunday.
You're not going to confession. When was the last time you ever went to church? It's blasphemy to say that I'll go to confession tomorrow and then just not mean it.
I don't know.
Is that what you guys do? I mean, does all Christians do confession?
They should. Yeah.
Or is it a Catholic thing?
I don't know.
What are you?
I would.
We've been through this before.
I would be Catholic, I guess. I grew up in a Catholic. I went to Catholic school, not Christian school. I think Christianity is like the big, you know,
picture.
Yeah, the big picture, and there's a little.
Wouldn't the big picture be Judaism?
No.
Because it started with us.
All right, fine.
We don't want to get into this.
No, not yet.
I want to get back to what you're watching. Tell me, like, I want to know about the degenerate shit you watch. I don't care about if you're watching Planet Earth, Kevin. We all watch Planet Earth.
But it's interesting, man. I mean, like, you really root for those little baby elephants. Like, that's some, that's some story right there. It's like, oh, a mother and her calf. You know what baby elephant's called a calf? I didn't know that. But they get caught in a sandstorm, and they get lost from their tribe or their flock, and I guess it's not that interesting.
You know what that's the sound of?
Crickets.
That's the sound of people clicking off our podcast.
I know.
Because you're not talking about an 800-pound Italian woman her kids wash them and feed them fried chicken.
It's been a busy week. What can I say?
All right.
My DVR is kind of filled up.
What else on the DVR?
Let's see. I guess I still have. I'm like 5 episodes back in American Idol. I've never really watched the show as
American Idol.
American Idol. Yeah, that's definitely.
Okay, so this bit's definitely going downhill.
Big
fast.
Time.
We're shitting the bed now.
I had 6 unwatched episodes of American Idol. So it just tells you that I just don't want to watch it. But it's I don't want to get that seller's remorse as soon as I delete them all. But I don't really give a shit because I only watched that show to see like the crackpots and the people who suck.
Like what was the guy's name?
William Hung. Yeah.
Shebang.
Little Asian dude going nuts.
Oh,
he's probably big in San Francisco.
I've never watched that show. Isn't Nicki Minaj on it?
Yeah, she is. Let's see,
can you tell me what credibility, what credentials does Nicki Minaj have to be on that show? She's never won a Grammy. Has she ever had a #1 hit? Has she ever won any award? Like besides some stupid. I mean, I don't get why she is telling people who can't be singers.
There's a lot of music now that is just way too. It's just too like new for me, and it just stinks. Pop music has never been my thing. I mean, pop music was awesome when I had my Walkman and like CC and the Music Factory was on.
Fine Young Cannibals was so good.
Good stuff.
She drives me crazy.
And he had a weird he was from somewhere that wasn't close to.
And Fine Young Cannibals, what kind of name is that?
Pretty good. It's a pretty good like late '80s rock band name.
Oh. 10,000 Maniacs.
Yeah. We actually, on the way back up, so I was in San Francisco for the weekend, and then we drove up the PCH.
Okay.
Which, if you've never done it...
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a little long.
Oh, yeah. You usually don't take that way.
Holy shit.
On the way home.
We took 10 hours to get back from San Francisco.
No. Yeah. It's a 5-hour drive.
I know.
What took you 10 hours?
Well, I wasn't
You had to leave the hostel.
I wasn't driving, for one. And
if you were driving,
there were some trigger finger camera people. They were happy to take some pictures. It's like I've seen a fucking tree before. The ocean is beautiful.
You got your friends were stopping and take pictures.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I know.
10 hours.
Look,
you had to stay in a hostel.
Yeah.
And then you had to spend 10 hours. I mean, at what point was this a vacation? At what point was this an enjoyable trip?
I kind of threw my inhibitions.
Someone offered you blow at 145.
Mm-hmm. I didn't take it.
I definitely want to hear more about this hostel. I'm not over with that yet. But, I mean, it doesn't sound like you had... I mean, it sounds... Like, I love San Francisco, but it doesn't sound like you had the best time.
I had an awesome time.
Okay.
Very much.
Okay.
Really enjoyed it.
But
I stayed at a hostel.
and it took 10 hours to get home.
Yeah, but that was cool. I mean, sometimes you kind of got to you take a nice afternoon, an evening, to look at God's country. Drive down. You've never seen like the bluffs and the cliffs and like all that. Big Sur is very cool.
I know what water looks like.
Exactly. Yes,
I know what a mountain looks like.
My apartment complex has a pool. Like I've seen it before, and
I could take a bath right now and get in water.
Yeah, it's a little different, but I was trying to get more out of it. Like I guess I'm just not a sponge for inspiration.
Oh, we've been through this. Yeah. You're kind of like a hermit. You'd rather be.
See, look, but I understand. It kind of makes you feel small, man. Like I don't get that ever.
It was like they were all tripping out, like, oh, we're just such small creatures in this big world.
It's beautiful. If you have eyes, and in my case, if I'm wearing my contact lenses, it's the shit. You see it, and it's like, wow.
But for 10 hours?
Yeah, and we took a couple stops.
And how long were the stops?
5 minutes here, but it was like at one point it was every like 20 minutes, and I'm like, I'm cool, I'm good. I'm a little more anxious to get shit over.
Well, I mean, once you're on the way home, it's like, let's get home.
Exactly. Yeah. If there was a helicopter ride from Big Sur to North Hollywood, I'd be on in a second. Yeah. But look, it was cool. The hostel thing was interesting. A lot of Europeans, but these kids kind of do this. I never had that drive to like go and see the world and travel new places. you know, it's a great place to be social and do that stuff, but I'm fucking 30 years old. You know?
Is that what they're all doing? All these guys are just all kind of like hanging out at the hostel, all like...
Yeah, they're all trying to fucking Australian, you know? Like, who wouldn't? I tried.
There's some hot broads at the hostel, or no?
You know. Yeah. But do you want to really have... Where you going to have sex in a hostel? You know?
You had a triplet room. You could have kicked your two friends out real quick for 3 minutes. Or you could
just use like the communal bathroom with like...
I mean, let's be honest. You kick them out. You kick them out. You tell this Australian piece of ass to come inside. You give her 2.5 minutes of your time, and you send her on her way back to her room.
2:15. I think that's a little more realistic. But yeah, you could. We met some nice girls from Texas. Had a nice time. Played some pool.
At the hostel? It's all at the hostel?
No, there's tons of bars all around.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And, yeah, you know, and then when the time, you know, came, the girl I was talking with, like, threw some smoke grenade down and ran away. So, you know, it didn't really work out for me. But I think that's for the best.
Sounds like it.
Sure. But, look, there's hostels all over the world. If you want to go to, let me see, I met an Israeli chick who I thought you would like.
Oh, nice. Because she's a Jew?
Yeah. And, you know.
Makes sense.
A little roomy, but, you know. You know, I figured you guys would have at least.
You figured because we were Jewish, I'd date a fat broad?
Well, yeah. You know, she's a child of what? Zion? Or what do you guys do?
So you think because you meet some Israeli chunky chick, right away you think
Jeremy her a picture. She was like, oh my God, he's a beauty.
Oh God!
Oh, and let me see. There was a dude from Australia who played a great didgeridoo, and yeah, a lot of like Germans or I don't know, Finnish or Swedish people, you know, and they're not Americans. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's what you get. You get kind of like
diversity.
You get all the colors of Benetton when you're in. When you're in.
Would I do it again?
A hostel?
Probably not. But I recommend for you and your lady friend,
the Jewish broad, the chunky Jewish broad.
No, your current lady friend.
Oh,
if it doesn't work out, I'm sure Micha will, and you know she's got your number.
Yeah, I'm sure there's fat Jewish broads all over that would just love to date me.
She's gonna friend you on Facebook, and you know you could. Let that shit work.
Seal that deal.
Cutting holes in sheets in mere days.
I don't think I wonder if they still do that. If the Jews,
sure they do. That's like an undying thing. Like in like the future, and like Mars is gonna be Hasidics fucking through sheets.
All right.
Yeah. Well, and that's just from reading the New York Post. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I know that. Well,
they do love Jews in New York. Yeah. It's a big thing out there.
So, but you know, travel. Travel can really it broadens the mind, or so I've heard. And yeah, I think my mind was a little broadened this weekend.
Just couldn't wait to get home.
Yeah, you know, my DVR, my American Idol was okay, Kevin. I think I'm gonna delete it. It's a new Kevin. I'm reborn.
You're done with American Idol.
I'm reborn.
Strictly hoarders and intervention.
Exactly, and just 800-pound. Nebraskans. I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't watch as much TV as you and I do. You know, they like go out and see the world and do all this.
I think everyone's full of shit. I think everyone watches as much as TV as we do.
Okay.
I think people go to work and have fun and do the San Francisco thing and stay in hostels and get offered blow, but I think they watch plenty of TV.
Not that any of that shit is that noble. I mean, you'd probably be better to be sitting at home watching an 8-hour block of diner drive-ins and dives.
And there's people that do that. I'm telling you, there's people that sit there and watch Triple D for the
Triple D. Oh, thank God.
For the
That's a tongue twister.
Triple D.
They must have done that for dolts like me who just around double diners,
drive-ins, and dives.
I like Guy Fieri. He's very rock and roll.
He kind of annoys me with the sunglasses and the hair and whatever. But
it's a whole image. It's like you go around and you eat.
It is funny watching
sausage made of elk.
All these guys, like Guy Fieri, Adam Richman, all these guys, they just get fatter and fatter as the years go on. You can just see them progressively get... Emeril, when Emeril first started out doing BAM!
He was a big hit.
He
put that shit on the map.
Oh, yeah. But he was like a svelte guy. He was, nice, slender, in-shape guy. Now he's the size of a house.
Yeah. There's only a matter of time doing that. And the older you get, and it's just... I'm waiting for friends who are riding that cusp, you know, who just drink and eat whatever they want, and they're still like holding on to that
we don't even have to go. We can talk about him. Our one of our good friends, John, who will be one of our guests. He's also the one that will tell some.
He could drop like a 20 spot at any fast food restaurant.
He is completely in shape. Looks like he is a built brick shithouse. Yeah. And yet he eats like the most disgusting food. He saw the ad for the Cool Ranch Taco Bell taco, and he's like, "Oh, gotta have to try one of those."
Yeah,
and you know he's not trying one.
See, but you always have to just think of like, all right, like if I overdo it at Taco Bell, I'm gonna have at least 10 minutes in the bathroom, which are not worth the deliciousness of Taco Bell. Just you get those hot shits.
And you're sweating.
Oh my god!
And you're sweating, and your feet are like getting lifted off the ground. It hurts so bad.
Sure. Yeah. Ugh. Well, I see, but if you eat too healthy, you get that too.
Oh, like too much kale or like kale shits.
Roback.
Oh, you always talk about your Roback shits.
I mean, Roback. Well, I don't. No, I don't.
This is. but I've heard Roback shit stories numerous times.
Roback's is really good because I don't like to eat vegetables. They don't really taste good, and it's a whole thing. But so I go to this juice place, and you can get like kale and celery and broccoli, and you just mix it with a little bit of apple, and it's delicious. But what it does to your stomach really should have a warning label, like a pack of cigarettes. It's like,
you drink this, you will shit your brains out.
Yeah, like do not mix with with gluten-free brownie, because you will, you'll be in a bad place in a little bit of time. And
you're a little feller too, so it's just scary, even the thought of like you just having like a complete accident.
Who knows?
Ugh, a Roback just accident.
It's never happened, but they have a whole testimonial thing on their webpage. And I've just kind of made it my own, because I want to spread the
You want to do your own testimonial?
Yeah, I do.
About what it really does to you.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that I can't throw down. Like, I had some Ben & Jerry's I think it was called like Holy Cannoli.
Did you guys go down to the Haight?
Yeah, we did.
Because that's where that Ben & Jerry's is, like right at the corner right there.
I saw that, and then
of Haight Ashbury.
Amoeba Records is there, and like all that. And then just really good-looking homeless young people that are just like, hey.
All the yuppies are
like, it
all
looks
down
like it's
there.
either like a Gap commercial, or is Gap even still open? That's how current I am with fashion. But,
yeah, there's Gap.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Don't you shop at Baby Gap?
I do, but only on special occasions.
Only when you need a nice pair of slacks?
Exactly. I'm gonna get
some pleats.
Exactly. But yeah, you just go down and people with dreadlocks and backpacks, but they could be like models, and I'm like, holy shit, like that girl is beautiful, but I would never want to, try to make her good. Like,
oh no,
a girl who lives on the street at some point, but like I think Jewel slept in her car, and like
she did.
I definitely throw it to Jewel, but
even with the teeth.
Oh yeah, that's personality.
Even with the snaggletooth, you'd still.
Why not? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, she does have some like a nice pair of brains.
She does, and she's a good egg from what I've heard. But
would you sleep with homeless Jewel?
Probably not.
You see, you would sleep with like Jewel,
Yeah, like Grammy.
It's
Jewel.
raining. Oh, that's the other one, right? On a rainy day.
That's Alanis Morissette.
That's the other one. Was she ever homeless?
Probably. I mean, she's got the songs to sing, man. She's got a rough life.
Yeah, she had it. Yeah, to get.
She must have shit into a fucking Target bag at least once out of a fucking El Camino. But yeah, you see, and like part of you wants to be like, oh, I want to change that girl and be like, oh, like you're. Dude.
No part of me ever thinks I want to change that girl.
Yeah, I guess not. I've seen like too many rom-coms.
Yeah, like what do you change that girl? Who are you? What are you gonna take her off the streets?
You've never met that chick, working a job or just anywhere, who's kind of rebellious and maybe sleeps on Santa Monica Boulevard. And you're like, wow, like she must have come from some kind of a place,
right?
And never want to throw it into her.
No, we're talking. I don't understand. I
don't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're speaking stupid.
I started rambling.
Well, yeah. What you're saying is you're saying two different things. Do I want to?
I'm not talking about like having sex with a homeless girl that's sleeping on the street. I'm saying that girl got there somehow by doing some bad things, and it's like, oh, but I'm sure like.
Do you want to fuck her or do you want to save her? What these are two different things.
Save her without
you
fucking
said
her.
I didn't say it, Kevin. You said it.
You probably fuck her then try to save her.
You think your semen's gonna save some fucking broad?
This is like the patriarch right
here.
Who
do you think you are? Oh God, too funny, unbelievable.
It's Shakespeare right there.
You're unbelievable. You really are.
Yeah, it's straight.
You think that you're gonna go meet this hot broad in Haight-Ashbury? You're gonna bang her and change her world, and you're gonna like bring her back to not living on the street?
Maybe
you're 3 weeks from living on the street.
You're right. Yeah, like my rent just cleared.
You guys were staying at a hostel.
Yeah. It's true.
She's probably doing better off than you.
But I can relate now. After staying at a hospital,
you really got.
I know how it is.
You know how it is. Get it. You get it now.
No, it just gave me an excuse just to like kind of like day drink and be like, oh, I'm on vacation and like. This is like raucous. It's like a different country, but no.
But you weren't at the hostel for very long, were you?
No, it was 2 nights, but
no, I mean like the actual time spent. You just went there like to crash for a couple hours.
Yeah. And then there's like a community room, but it's kind of
people doing like needles and stuff.
Yeah, it's like going back to college, like dorm life, which but I'm too old for that.
How much did the hostel cost?
I think it was like the room we stayed in was like $90 a night.
For $90 a night, you assholes couldn't have found a hotel?
No, $60. I'm sorry, $60 a night.
All right.
Yeah.
San Francisco, you're not going to find a hotel for $60 a night.
I looked on my fancy iPhone.
You were doing everything you could to not stay there?
I mean, look, I kind of threw my inhibitions to the wind for like, this could be a really cool experience, and like I'm willing to throw my dignity away to
fix some broad, to fix some German broad, to bring her back to reality.
Yeah, and share a bathroom with the fucking with the UN.
Did you actually use the bathroom?
Sure.
Oh God.
Look, I came home last night.
You took a bath in bleach, right?
Yeah, I came home last night
and like scrubbed like a layer of skin off.
I took like a crying game shower and slept for 14 hours. So. It was, and I'm available. Anybody hiring,
or if any ladies are looking.
Yeah, and I'm single, girls.
You sound like the perfect catch.
Yeah, I think so.
You need to get on that at Match.com.
JDate.
JDate.
Nah, I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? You got no chance with Jewish broad. You stay in hostels. You stay in hostels. Jew broads aren't going you at a hostel.
I'm pretty multi-diverse. I've hooked up with, a pretty fair amount of the globe, but
right.
Or at least ethnicities. If I traveled, I think I'd be even better, well-rounded. Say, slept with a Brazilian girl.
I bet you if you went to let's say Japan or Thailand with
girls in the Congo
with a Yankee hat on, if you wore a Yankee hat like in Japan, I think girls would just love you.
Sure.
Because Yankee.
They think I'm Derek Jeter. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah. You look like him.
Derek Jeter, what happened?
You can be like, I'm Derek Jeter.
I've actually told people that I'm the kid from Jerry Maguire, and I'm like, I know, had a meth problem for.
Do you know that dogs can smell fear?
The human head weighs 8 pounds. Like,
That's you, huh?
God, yeah,
has it ever worked?
It has, but I'm not a good liar. I can't sell it. They'd be like, oh really? And then I say no. Because I'm just ruining that kid, Jonathan Lipnicki. I know his name.
You know his name in case you ever have to who are you? I'm Jonathan Lipnicki.
Because my buddy, every time we're out, he's like, he'll say that and tell them that that's the kid from Jerry Maguire. So I have to know his name to at least just play with the joke for a minute.
Until the girl talks to you, and then you cower away.
They're like, are you really him? Like, I was working with Tom Cruise. I'm like, kind of creepy. I was wearing like a aluminum foil hat during lunch.
Talking about the Illuminati and some alien.
But I couldn't pass for it.
You got to sell it, Kevin.
I do. I'm not a good salesman. But I could be an extra in Mad Men.
No problem.
And lose my SAG card.
Just lose my SAG card.
Well, being real Scotch on set.
Yeah, you'd be wasted.
No, I mean,
I bet you're there drinking too. So fuck it.
This was delicious, though. I mean, and I'm it's just the ice on the bottom of the glass, which is the best part of finishing a scotch.
You're all finished?
Yeah, I am.
Well, Kevin finished his scotch, so you know what that means.
Ring the bell.
I think it means it's time to wrap this episode.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It
was the San Francisco episode.
Should we recap? Because I couldn't.
You always want to recap. Why do you want to recap? Why every episode?
It's my own memory.
Why every episode do you want to recap at the end? Like, who are you? It's not a news program.
Top of the hour.
It's a podcast. They heard it.
Breaking news.
We don't have to recap what everyone just heard.
Hasn't been any good breaking news on recently.
Breaking news?
Yeah, like when they interrupt Price is Right. In the morning and say, this just in,
Well, the other day I was watching, guess we're not going to end the show. We'll keep going for a little bit.
Oh, really? Oh, Jesus.
The other day I was watching two black guys had done something near the Sepulveda Pass.
Mm-hmm.
And they got all messed up and stopped. They got out of their car and
on Sepulveda or on the 405?
I think the 405 or off the Sepulveda or something like that. And they jumped out of their cars.
For the non-locals... It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They jumped the hilly brush.
The hilly brush.
The hilly brush. The helicopter's now watching them, and they are running through the trees trying to hide. And I wanted to scream at the TV because I'm sitting there in my sweatpants, or as you call them, flu pants.
They are flu pants.
I was playing on the computer, watching these guys live trying to hide. The helicopter can see you. Yeah. You can see the helicopter. You can hear the helicopter. You can see 6 helicopters above you. There's no hiding. If I can see you live from my apartment in NoHo, live and you're on the Sepulveda Pass, there's no hiding, buddy.
Well, they probably weren't that smart to begin with, considering that they're taking Sepulveda in a fucking, police chase. But
but that was breaking news, and I enjoyed it. I love a good car chase.
That's another good thing about LA. Not just the beautiful women, but also
the beautiful the car chases. I've been up at like midnight until like 3-4 in the morning watching a good 3-hour.
It's like Grand Theft Auto.
Oh my god, it's
real
wonderful.
Life Grand Theft Auto.
And they're driving past like your neighborhood or something. You get all excited.
Well, there was a dude. Did you hear about the guy who got shot on the Las Vegas Strip a couple weeks back? Like. This guy was leaving a casino, or he was a rapper actually, and I think he like stepped on somebody's sneakers or like talked shit in a rhyme, and as he's leaving, this other dude in a Range Rover pulls up beside him and just starts shooting into his car. Pop, 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 pop. It's that nigga Pop from the barbershop. See, I know what's up.
You're an idiot.
Oh God, I know. And kills the driver, and then he hits a cab, and the 2 cars explode. This is on the Las Vegas Strip, and it kills like an innocent like tourist, and the cab driver, and the rapper as well. Long story short, is the gunman they found him in North Hollywood,
here
in this very neighborhood.
No,
and for all us fans, we do live in North Hollywood, California.
Wow,
home of Vivid Entertainment.
And home of Jeremy and Kevin.
As stars of such films as...
I don't know any Vivid.
You don't know any Vivid videos?
Do you know any?
Only like Space Nuts.
Chicks Who Dig Black Dicks? 4?
No. Vivid's kind of classy. Like, they do like Space Encounters.
Or like Star Wars, but like the porn version of like Star Wars.
They do have those. They have those parody pornos. They have one for... The Cosby Show, which I'm sure hasn't gotten, Uncle Bill's.
There's a Bill Cosby porn.
There's a Charles in Charge, which is everybody's fantasy, because who didn't want to fuck those girls on Charles in Charge, especially Charles?
Wasn't he a guy?
No, Scott Baio. I'm sure he did. Nicole Eggert and the other girl. Who was it? I don't know. I don't have my IMDb app up, but
have you seen these porns?
No, but I'm aware of them.
Huh.
It's kind of in my
your Rolodex of things you do when you go home.
I read a lot,
Clearly, you watch a lot.
No, but only for like 30 seconds or so.
Just enough to get you to sleep.
Why do you got to make it all like final and like obligatory and personal?
Just to get you right to the end.
All right, fair enough.
On that note.
All right, folks. Thanks again for listening.
Yes.
I'm Jeremy Tomberg.
I am Kevin Crowley. And I apologize.
And this is Bad Takeout.
Sorry, Mom. Love you.
Love you, Mom. This is Bad Takeout.